What should the New York Giants do in the 2020 NFL Draft? There is much debate on what the Giants should do with the fourth pick. Should they go with the linebacker out of Clemson, Isaiah Simmons, or one of the great offensive tackles in this draft, or even possibly trade down from the fourth pick? Let's see what the Giants should do. So first, we will look at the New York Giants stats in 2019. Then we will look at their free agent additions and subtractions. And finally, we'll look at the possible prospects for them to draft. So in free agency, they added James Bradberry, Blake Martinez, Levine Toilolo, Cameron Fleming, Colt McCoy, Dion Lewis, Nate Ebner, Draven Askew-Henry, Austin Johnson, Eric Tomlinson, and Kyler Frackwell. And they lost Cody Latimer, Mike Remmers, and Antonio Hamilton. So the two positions they said they're looking at so far are linebackers and offensive tackles in most mock drafts. And they added an offensive tackle, they added two linebackers, but they also lost an offensive lineman. So now we look at the possible prospects for the New York Giants to draft. First off, we have Isaiah Simmons, the freakishly athletic linebacker out of Clemson, Jedrick Wills, the offensive tackle out of Alabama, Tristan Wirfs, the very athletic offensive tackle out of Iowa, Mekhi Becton, the humongous offensive tackle out of Louisville. And this is one I don't see much, but I really think the Giants should be looking after. Jeffrey Okudah, the defensive back out of Ohio State. In a lot of mock drafts, you see the Dolphins trading up to 3, trading with the Lions, who would normally draft Okudah. And at 4, they really need some help in the defensive backfield. So if they can get a really good defensive back, I think that could be huge for them. But I think offensive tackle and linebacker are a little more important. So first off, we'll look at Isaiah Simmons, the linebacker out of Clemson, 6'4", 238, 4'3", 940, which is the best of any linebacker, and the third best vertical with a 39-inch vertical. And NFL.com gives him a prospect grade of 7.08, which means he's a Pro Bowl caliber player. Jedrick Wills, offensive tackle at Alabama, 6'4", 312, tied for the 6th best 40 of the offensive tackles, and the 2nd best vertical, with a 6.85 NFL.com prospect grade, which means he will be starting in his first year or a Pro Bowl caliber. Tristan Wirfs, offensive tackle out of Iowa, 6'5", 320, 4'8", 40, the best of offensive linemen, 24 bench press, tied for 21st, 36.5 vertical, the best of offensive linemen, and a 6.48 prospect grade, which means he'll be a first-year starter. Mekhi Becton, humongous, 6'7", 364 out of Louisville, tied for the 13th best 40, 5.1, the best of anybody that size, 23 reps of the bench press, which was 25th, and he's a 6.74 prospect grade, which means he'll be a year 1 starter. And then Jeffrey Okudah, the 6'1", 205 defensive back out of Ohio State, 4'48", 40, tied for 18th, 11 bench, tied for 36th, and a 41-inch vertical, which was the 2nd best. And his prospect grade was 7.15, which means he'll be a Pro Bowl caliber player. So what do I think the Giants do? I don't think they go Okudah. I just don't see the Giants doing that. I think what they should do is they should either go for Isaiah Simmons with the 4th pick or trade down for an offensive lineman. But as we saw, they added 2 linebackers and a pretty decent corner in free agency. And while they added an offensive lineman, they also lost an offensive lineman. So I think they should really be going for an offensive lineman to protect Daniel Jones and create space for Saquon Barkley to run and their new backup running back addition, Dion Lewis. Now, what I think they should do, I think they should trade down. I really don't think any of these guys are worth the 4th overall pick. So I think they should trade down to 7 right before the Arizona Cardinals look like they should go for an lineman. Or if they think they like both of them, they can trade a little farther back past Arizona before maybe the Jets. Maybe they trade to 9 with before the Jets pick. So who do I think they should pick? It's really difficult because Wills was the one who really succeeded in college with that Bama, was a very good one. Wirfs has the athleticism, then Becton has the size. I think that Dave Gettleman likes athletic freaks. That's what I've heard. So I think he goes with either Wirfs or Becton. And I think he really likes Becton with that size. So I say that the New York Giants trade down to either 7 or 9, and they draft Mekhi Becton, and if he's not there, they draft Tristan Wirfs, and if some reason he's not there, they draft Jedrick Wills. So what I think is, I think the Giants trade down to the 7th pick with Carolina. I think Carolina might want to trade up so they can get Isaiah Simmons. Maybe the Giants make it sound like they're going to draft Simmons and kind of guilt them. Or maybe they trade down with Miami. Maybe Miami wants to go up and get that quarterback, so maybe they trade with the Giants. So, yeah, that's what I think. I think they trade down and they draft Mekhi Becton.